Thank you. Well, it's wonderful to be here and to speak with you today. I just have huge honor and respect for those who serve our country, and I think we always need to be open to the leading of the Lord and how He calls us to serve our countries or to serve our country. And I did get the call one day soon after 9/11 happened and said, "You're being assigned to New York." And I was worried that call was going to come soon, and sure enough it came. But I did go to New York on October 11th is the day that I arrived there. So exactly 1 month after the actual disaster happened. And when I arrived there, it was, we had to go into this main area and get our assignments. And I thought for sure they were going to put me in the social service center. And they said, "No, you're going to ground zero." And so I had to take a deep breath, and that's where I went. And I worked there for 10 days, from October 11th until October 21st. We worked 10-hour shifts from 10 o'clock in the morning until 10 o'clock at night. And we worked at the corner of one of the towers, and we kind of set up in a tent and lived in a tent for the next 10 days. We were about a half a block, or we were probably about 3 tents down from a whole, from the fire department, one of the fire departments that was stationed there. And I would often make my way out of my tent and down to their tent so that I could check out and see what the firemen needed. And a lot of times, I don't know if we have any firemen here, but those firemen were really messy. Sorry. And so I'd go down there every day and just spend about an hour in their tent, just cleaning it up, making it nicer, so that when they came in from being out and around the tower, that they could come into some place that wasn't as dirty and that had plenty of coffee. You had to have tons of coffee with lots of milk, and not cream, but milk. And so we always made sure that the firemen were stocked with that. And then on several occasions, we were about a half a block from the pit. And on several occasions, we would get the call that they needed somebody at the pit. And one evening, me and another Salvation Army officer went down to the pit. And we went about halfway down, and then it just became very silent, and all work stopped around the whole complex as they brought somebody out and as they found somebody. Now that was a month after the actual disaster, and they were still bringing people out. And it was just very reverent, very, very peaceful as they brought them out. And they would stop at us, and we would pray. We would pray for the person and their family, and then they would go ahead and bring the person out and put them on the back of a 4-wheel cart. And again, the procession, everybody would just line up, and we would just show so much reverence as the body went from the pit over to the morgue. And then once the body arrived at the morgue, then all work would start again. But it was very reverent. It was very, very touching, and you couldn't help but notice how much people showed their respect for the people who gave their lives that day. As I would stand outside of our tent often and visit with the people as they stopped, as they were on their way and working, we'd just look up at the structure that they were taking down, and all the tents around, and the dirt and the dust that would fly. And my biggest impression as I stood there was, this is what war looks like. This is what war looks like, the aftermath of that. And some of you have seen that before. Some of you know what that looks like. And it was just a very humbling moment to stand there and watch that. So I thank the Lord that He took me there, that He took me right to the pit, because I know that people were touched and people were cared for in the right way because we were there. So I just am grateful for that experience. Thank you.
Thank you.